Hi, I'm here with Palestra from Moya Magazine. My name is Laura Reis. I'm a 20-year-old filmmaker from São Paulo, Brazil. Currently, I'm directing a film that I wrote called Cereja do Bolo. Cereja do Bolo, it's a story about this girl with a bunny head. Her name is Bunny Head, and she's running away from home because every single human from her society wants to eat her. And I think it will be really fun to watch, and we're working a lot to make it happen. And I'm really grateful to be here talking a little bit more about it and to be finally making this movie happen. So thanks so much.
Hi, Laura. I'm so excited to see all of it in its entirety. And I was like curious, what got you into film? How did you decide that this is what I want to do with my life?
Well, since I was a little girl, I've always been really into films. I was raised by films. My parents are people that are really passionate about visual arts. Even though they don't work with that, they have always been showing me new things and new movies. So I think since a very young age, I was really surrounded by movies and having this influence growing up was really something that I didn't know I could work with, like, oh my gosh, that's a job. I can live my life like that. I think I realized that when I was like 6 years old or something like that. So I remember a couple of friends of my dad saying, oh, you can work with that. You can be a filmmaker if you love film so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. That's literally like the best thing ever. I want to do that for the rest of my life. And I've always been like the kid with the camera on my head and taking pictures, everything. And I just grew up with this dream and this idea of working with movies and making films and being the independent filmmaker here in Brazil. So I'm loving even more and more now that I'm working in my first movie, and it's everything that I've ever wanted when I was a kid. And I'm doing this for her, for my little self, my inner child, because it's what makes me happy, what makes her happy.
That is lovely to hear. I love that you were exposed to films and new things so young, and it's been a long time passion of yours.
Yeah.
What would you say you're trying to explore? What themes would you be trying to explore in your films that you got from other films, like aesthetics or genres that really inspired you?
Well, I think talking a lot about childhood is something that I don't know if it's a thing because I'm 20 years old now, and I think it's an age that you leave a lot of things behind and a lot of your childhood self. Here in Brazil, especially because when you turn 18 years old, you're considered an adult here. You're no longer a teenager. And 20 years old is even like higher on the spectrum of like, you're not a child anymore. You have to leave things behind. You have to have a life that it's worth like an adulthood. So I think right now at the moment I want to build something as like a love letter to my childhood, a girlhood childhood. It's the only thing that I've known. And I really like to watch movies that talk about girlhood and childhood and growing up and coming of age movies. I really, really enjoy that. And about aesthetics, I really love colorful things and the mixture of horror films with really vibrant colors. I think that's something here in Brazil, especially in our culture of films and filmmaking, we don't have this look for horror movies. I feel like we watch a lot of horror movies, but most of them are not from our own country. So I think working with something that is really visual appealing and then make people from my generation, our generation, to watch horror films from our country, from Brazil, it's like really special to me, and I would love to explore more of that. So the creepy things and blood, and with a really vibrant color and cute things like bunnies and Scouts girl. I think that's a really fun mixture to play with. And I don't know about the rest of my movie career because, as I said before, I'm 20 years old now. I don't know how I'm gonna look at my art and my films when I'm 30, when I'm 40. But I feel like I'm always gonna have this little childhood thing in the background of my work because something really special to me, and I think most people would recognize themselves on a screen, and I would love to have this feeling with people with my movies.
No, that's amazing, and I can greatly appreciate, wanting to fill a space that, is yet to have many people in it, especially like within your own cultural context.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question, which would be like, how do you think Brazil does film in comparison to like Western films? Like, do you have a preference? What do you think like Brazil does better? Because you've already said how you want Brazil to like have more horror in it. But what do you think is like the good aspects of Brazilian film and media?
Well, Brazilian filmmaking is really rich. I think we have this power of connecting with people with multiple realities of people, and just the representation of our culture in the screen, I think it's really clear. One of the most famous Brazilian movies of all times is City of God, Cidade de Deus, and it's huge outside, and even here in Brazil, everyone always loves to talk about it. And I think what is really captivating about it, it's the way that the characters are shown and how close and similar we can relate to them from people of our lives. And I think that's really beautiful in the Brazilian culture of filmmaking, of just looking at a simple guy, filming him, and many other simple guys will recognize themselves on him. And I think that's really nice, really cool that we have this power in our hands. Brazilian filmmaking is huge. We have a lot to explore here. But sadly, I don't think we have, like many people, myself included, we don't often go to the movie theater to watch a Brazilian film. Brazilian culture of filmmaking don't have a look into our own country. So I think compared to Western movies, many people are going to watch Western movies and not Brazilian movies when they go to the movie theater. And that's something that us as Brazilian filmmakers, film studies, we are always trying to figure out what is the code, what is the thing that is different, like what we are not doing it right for our own people not to want to watch, our own things on the screen. So I think maybe it's a lot about wanting to get out of here somehow, like mentally, like looking at new places and the Western view on things and not the Brazilian view on things. A lot of Brazilian independent films talks a lot about old ladies that own like a bakery and have a difficult life. And it's a person that we could know in our life, it's really close to our reality. So maybe people just want to get out of here and go to this fantastic world and travel to other countries without getting out of their own house, something like that.
I can definitely relate to that as well, as a foreign student. I'm curious to know about what your creative process looks like. Like I said, I really vibed with your film visually, and I was like looking at it and I was like, I wonder how she came up with this, how you put it together, how you thought of it, how you planned it, if you storyboarded it. I really, really enjoyed watching it, and I was like, I'd like to know more about how you think creatively.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. But with Cereja do Bolo, I'm a person driven by visuals, and it's been like this forever. As I said with movies, I grew up watching it. So I really like to draw things, and I'm always drawing, even in the classroom, I'm always drawing. My friends always said, "Oh, Laura is listening to us, but she's drawing," because it's my way of focus on things. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I need to focus on the outside, just looking inside with my little pen and my little things. That's the way that I deal with everything. So I've always liked to draw a girl with a bunny hat. I don't know why. I think that's visually cool. And I've always drawn girls like this and characters like this. And then I was like, wait, I kind of want to film that. I imagine how that would be on the screen, like a girl with a bunny hat and she's different and she's growing up. Obviously, put a little bit of myself in the characters. I think that's kind of normal for people that are writing characters and stuff. So, yeah, I was really drawn by this drawing that I made. I was like, okay, I want to work more on that. And then came up to I really like Wes Anderson and the movie Moonrise Kingdom. And it was like, wait, I want to do something with Girl Scouts. And I think that would be really fun to be like this Girl Scouts and this girl with the bunny hat. It's such a weird looking pair. And I think would come out something really nice. And then I just sat on my desk and draw a lot of things. And then boom, just hit me like really fast, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like a girl that's running from home, and this scouts girl, they want to eat her because the world is ending, and da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, that's fun. I want to do that. I'm gonna do that. So that was the process that I had. And then it's really weird because after all, I heard a lot of my friends talking about the movie and the project, and they were saying things that I didn't even occur to think, like, oh, she's a girl that she's like excluded, but she looks at this group of other girls same age as her, and she wants to be part of it. And they started talking about things that were, oh my gosh, that's the reality. That's how I felt when I was growing up, when I was 19, when I was 16. And so I discovered my movie in the process of making it and listening to other people talking about it and the things they saw themselves in a certain way, certain things. The actresses, they a lot to the table and being like, whoa, I think this character could have this life. And it's really, really beautiful to see like something that was a piece of paper to become something so huge and with real faces and real girls right now that are playing the characters. And that was the process of making it all.
That's really cool. It sounds like it was a very collaborative project, and I can appreciate that. It sounds like there was real girlhood that went into it as well. So that's really amazing. But were there any challenges that you faced when like filming or writing? Do you think there was like anything that you experienced in this process that made you a better filmmaker?
Right now, we're in the pre-production. We still didn't record it yet. We're gonna shoot 23rd and 26th of October. So this month is like the most important one because we need to just stick everything together and say, okay, it's ready. Every little detail, every little thing that we have to do. So this moment right now is really stressing just to think about the money because making movies, a lot of people maybe don't recognize that, but it's all about money, unfortunately. So if we don't have enough money, we can't do enough things. And so that was really hard for me, like to just be like, okay, I'll have to let it go a couple of things because of money and just think of other creative things to do with less money that we thought we'd have. So that's a big challenge that I'm facing right now. I'm talking to people like every day, like, oh, okay, yeah, let's see what we can do. So it's like really crazy right now. I think that's really challenging, and you have to direct a movie and you have to direct a bunch of people that are going to make the movie, so that it's also really challenging just to make sure everyone is on the same page. We are in about 30 people right now, so managing 30 people to make the same movie with the same mindset and listening to every creative thought of everyone, that's really crazy, but it's really fun because a lot of those people I've never worked with. So I'm getting to know them and seeing how passionate they are about something that I create. It's amazing, it's incredible. And I think that's making me grow as a filmmaker, just to be part, of the team that you're in. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna call this person so we can get food. I'm gonna call this person so we can get like a transportation. But you have people to do that, it's their job. So I'm learning to let it go and trust people and trust that people are doing their job and that everyone is running towards the same direction, that it's the movie, that is Cereja do Bolo, cherry of the cake. And that's it. I'm learning to let it go. It's really hard for me because my entire life I feel like I've always been the person that I was like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And then when I see I'm like with a bunch of things that I have to do for a bunch of different people just because I think it's going to be fun, but then end up being like really overwhelming. But in this process of pre-production, I'm learning to let it go and be okay. People are capable. They're gonna make an incredible, beautiful job, and I'm here to assist and direct everything. So it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a beautiful movie. So just relaxing a bit and letting it go.
That's no, that's a beautiful answer. And I think many people can sympathize and empathize with that just because I think that's what a lot of creative people deal with as well. But it's lovely to hear, and I'm very happy to hear that you have such a supportive network in the film industry, and that you're all working together for like a common goal. That's very beautiful to see. So what would you say if those were the challenges, what do you think was like something that was like your favorite part of the process so far? Like what have you really enjoyed?
Well, I think when I'm with the biggest smile ever is when I'm rehearsing with the actresses because they are just incredible and seeing them bond. Actors are incredible. Actors are incredible and they have this ability of turning themselves into someone else. I know that sounds crazy. Obviously, that's what actors do, but it's just like beautiful seeing live, and having the opportunity to talk to them and being like, oh, let's just like pretend you're in the forest and this happened and then you see a bunny girl and you guys are really really hungry and then listening to music together, dancing, and just preparing the actors to become the characters. I think that's one of my favorite parts ever because you see the movie right there. You see what everyone else is going to see when they watch the movie, that it's the actresses. It's really, really nice seeing from rehearsal to rehearsal every week. They just being like completely this Girl Scouts cult and really happy and having fun and bringing out this inner child to the rehearsals. Like, it's really funny. Sometimes they just start making animal noises. I never told them to make animal noises, but they're like just making cow noises and meow noises. I don't know. It's really funny because they're just like feeling themselves and they're feeling their characters. So it's a lot about the inner child and playing like a playtime. But obviously, everyone is really professional when doing this to bring out this Girl Scouts that are really crazy and eat cake every day. And it's really, really nice to see happen. I'm really, really grateful to have them with me and in it because it's really crazy. But I'm really grateful.
That's amazing. And I definitely love the idea of everyone having certain creative liberties. That must be fun. But this leads me to my last question, which would be, what is like your ultimate goal for this film? What would you want it to achieve? What would you want like the impact to be, hypothetically speaking? Like,
Um, this movie, this film, I think since the beginning, I've been pushing a lot with the global warming awareness because in this universe of Cereja do Bolo, every single animal just disappeared and we don't know why. And the humans are missing the animals because they want to eat the animals. But this is like the exact same way they disappear because the humans just use nature and everything around us. Like a lot, and now they're crazy. They need animals, they need nature. So one of my goals, as I can say, I think is just people think about their actions towards the planet, and especially right now that we are in a really, really difficult situation with the global warming and the heat. Here in Brazil, we are living like a roller coaster of weather. Yesterday was really, really, really hot, and right now it's really, really cold. It's crazy and it's really serious. And even though this is like a fun movie for people to watch, laugh a little bit, and be amazed by the colors and the blood and whatever, I want people to watch it and afterwards just think about what is happening to our country, what's happening to our world, and what we can do to make it better, and just thinking about it and having this movie to represent that in some way. It's something that is one of my goals with it. I just want people to watch it and like it and relate to it, and recognize that it's a Brazilian movie, that it's a Brazilian horror movie directed by women and and starred by women and built with young people. I want everyone in the crew and every actress to have this recognition of, wow, they're doing things. They are the future of Brazilian cinema. Just want people to watch the movie. That's my main goal. It's the literally the only thing that I want. It's people just to watch it and have opinions about it and talk about it, because it's gonna be a movie with a lot of matters to discuss, like such as childhood, global warming, and womanhood, and how we live in community, and a lot of other subjects. And it's a movie that don't have any dialogue, don't have any speech. So it's going to be really accessible for everyone in the entire world to watch it, because it's non-verbal, so everyone can watch it and understand it. I think from 5 years from now, I'm sure I'm gonna watch the movie and be like, okay, I could do a lot of things differently, but I hope I look back and say, oh, that's the movie that made me the person that I am today, because I know in the movie set a lot of things are gonna happen, and I'm gonna change a lot before this after this movie. And I'm also really, really, really grateful to come this far, to be talking to you right now. That's so great that the movie just gave me all of these connections. So I'm already really glad that the movie exists, even though it doesn't exist yet.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time also. I know you said you were busy and you were stressed, but I appreciate you talking to us and, giving us insight. And I, for one, I'm so excited for when it comes out. So please let us know when it comes out, and I'll be first to see it, hopefully.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your words. You seem so wise and so like amazing and artistic, and I'm very excited for your career to come.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks so much for the opportunity, for your time. I'm really excited for the work that you guys are doing also in the magazine, and to read this interview when it gets out. You can send me, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, this has been fantastic, but it's also been a wrap.